Did anyone see that new Woodsy Allen movie?
You know, I like his films, except for that nervous fella's always in them.
Hello, listening people.
Hello.
Hello, Bartek. How are you doing?
Doing okay, Ryan. How are you doing?
Oh, I've got a list of maladies and neuroses and hypochondriac tendencies that I could go through with you right now, but I think we should leave that to the director of the film we have before us today.
Gotta shake the ants out of our pants.
We will talk about the menace himself, Woody Allen, but I found one of my favorite phobias he has is sunlight.
Oh.
He has a fear of sunlight, but that makes sense because he also has a fear of cancer. I feel like it links to each other. It's one of those where it's like, he's like 15 different phobias, and it's like, how did you make so many movies? How do you go outside?
I don't know. Cancer's pretty rationally scary. But...
Yes, but I see like the connection of like, I fear sunlight because it could give me cancer. Like, I don't know if that's his rationale. I don't want to get too in the head of that man, but boy, will we, because we're here today on Spit and Polish Presents to talk about a movie that came recommended by somebody.
Yes, spin-off podcast, Spit and Polish Presents Woody Allen's Phobias.
Yeah, the Woody phobias. We also have a special episode on Woody from Toy Story and his phobias as well. I'm sure
I've seen Toy Story 2. He's got a nightmare.
He has a phobia of the sun, probably, because that magnifying glass, beamed some direct into his face and burnt him a little.
Sid phobia.
He's got Sid phobia.
Until the end.
I'm sure if you typed in Sid phobia, something will pop up. Like, it will be an actual thing that we are just saying
Sid
it.
is the Latin word for this.
Yeah. They have a real fear of Sid Meier's Civilization. You know, those games. He's like, oh no, they're too complex.
Woody
Woody
loves Let's Plays, but if they're doing Sid Meier's Civilization, or no.
Does Sid Meier have any other games, or is it Civilization only?
I don't know. Is Sid Meier the developer?
I don't know.
You know what?
Sid, write in. Are you just the developer, or are you a historical figure that these games are named after?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, was Sid Meier like the original author of the Civilization novels? Like what, like history or something? Is he the original author of history?
God. It's God. It's that darn God.
We finally know God's name. It's Sid Meier.
Sid Meier's Civilization is like playing God. You know, you're dictating things. You're managing. You're the hand of God. But we are here today on our podcast to cover a movie that has come recommended. That's what Pictures Powwow is about. We have a little powwow about a picture, and someone recommended a movie this time. We go from one of us hosts or you, the listening people, and I think last time it was the listening people that recommended a movie. Twas indeed. We did something. We did a Japanese animated film, but this time round, one of us hosts picked a Woody Allen film. But who was it? Was it me, Ryan? Did I pick Sleeper, the Woody Allen one where he's a robot?
No.
No? Was it you?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Bartek.
I'm always after the listening people.
So what film did you present to us?
I recommended for us English title, Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And because I promised that I'd say the Polish title just before recording and I had to keep to it, I had to look it up. So it is Wszystkiego, co...
Yes.
What was it? Chcielibyście wiedzieć o seksji, ale and this is the word I know, but seeing it written down throws me off. Boiście się zapytać.
That is such a great title. I love it even better in mumbled, stumbling Polish.
Yeah.
It's like if you
separating the words with English muttering.
No, I'm not going to read it myself, but I imagine if I read it just written down, I think I would have gotten it pretty on par with Bartek there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I closed the tab, so you can't read it.
And you know what they say? Tabs, when they're closed, it's over. It's over now. Because we have finally entered the hell dimension that is Woody Allen cinema. This is our first ever Woody Allen film on the podcast. I don't think we've even had him as an actor, let
No, I don't
alone
think
as a
so.
writer and director. Does he ever act outside of his own projects? I can't recall. I know he may appear in things as himself, but does he ever...
Well, I made
like-
an ants joke before.
Oh, that's right. He was in Ants. How could I forget? So the answer is yes. Yes, he does perform in other things than his own work.
In the trivia, it also mentioned that one of the reasons why he mostly just does his own stuff is because he was in the original, I think, Casino Royale,
Mm-hmm,
and he hated it so much that he's like, I'm just going to make things.
Good. That makes a lot of sense. So, everyone, please make sure to give this film a watch for yourself. It is widely available, free on YouTube, even. So,
Oh, okay.
yes, and not just someone uploaded it. YouTube itself has it for free because
Oh.
YouTube has a bunch of movies that you can just watch for free on there. At least here in Australia, I cannot comment on elsewhere, but I will say this. If you are watching this on YouTube for free, like I did through their own service, and you are streaming it through your television set, like I did, make sure to manually select the captions option because it will not put on the captions for the foreign language section of the movie. It will if you're watching it on your desktop and or phone, but if you are casting it to your television like I did,
Hope you know Italian.
you will have to rewind, pause, select the thing, and then do it. Because I thought for the first minute of that section, oh, it's one of those funny things where they're just speaking a bunch of nonsense, and then I realized, oh no, I'm supposed to actually know what they're saying, aren't I? I thought, oh, is this one of those movie moments where it's like they're speaking Italian, but really they're just saying pasta names or whatever? But no, that's a little peek into the window here of my viewing experience. But I've never seen this movie before. You know, I've never seen this before. I know of it. I know of the famous Gene Wilder scene.
Mm.
I've seen that referenced. I've seen that be talked about. I've seen Gene Wilder discuss it. But outside of that, I knew that this was a comedy anthology film about different sexual things, but I didn't know what that really entailed. I didn't know who was going to be in it other than Gene Wilder and Woody Allen. Like that's really all I had going in. I knew this was an earlier one of his movies, a 70s affair, but this was a completely new viewing experience for me. And I will admit, because of who he is, Woody Allen, I walked in trepidatious and my head held low because of his real life circumstances, but also I've never really liked any of the films of his I have seen. I've never outright hated any of the ones I have seen, but I've never liked them. Like I've seen Annie Hall, Blue Jasmine, Midnight in Paris, and I think there was one other, but like
You said
that's
it last time.
Yeah, this is, and I know of Sleeper. People have told me you'd like Sleeper, the one where he plays a robot butler, and I'm like, oh, maybe, but I've never really connected with his movies. They're a little bit too. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yep. Just, I understand the point, but you're gonna tell me it again. Okay, like he is man that has no subtlety for me. That's how I would describe it. But from what I've seen, contrary to some other people, I've not found him insufferable. I know some people find Annie Hall a bit insufferable, or especially Midnight in Paris can be a bit insufferable. But for some people out there, I haven't had that. I just don't vibe with his movies. But this one was very different to those ones. So a lot to take in. But what about you, Bartek? You pitched this. So have you seen this before?
Yes, this is one of only 2 films of his that I have seen. I've seen this and Annie Hall. I remember, I think this was one that our friend Reese lent me on DVD once. I watched it. I knew of the title. I didn't know much about it. But I watched it and I remembered really liking it. So I thought, we're doing Year of the Older cinema. It's my last pick of the year. I'm picking one more, but we'll be doing next year.
Yes.
And I need a Hollywood one. I'm like, oh, that could be an interesting one. Haven't seen that in a while. Let's see how it is on a repeat. And yeah, that's why I picked it.
And you did enjoy it that first time overall?
Mhm.
You were a fan. Was this the one you saw of his first, or did you see Annie Hall first?
That's a good question. I do not know. I think think I may have seen Annie Hall first, but I
Do
can't
you
say
remember
for
the
sure.
context of why you saw that one? Was it someone lent it to you? You saw it on TV. You seeked that out for yourself, Annie Hall?
I think that was a flight film.
The best type of film.
Yeah, which honestly, I don't think I've been on that many flights in my life, but I think I brought up seeing a film on a flight countless times on this podcast.
It feels like half the movies this year you have seen in your spare time were on a flight, but you're also the type of guy who says, "I've only been on like 4 flights in my life."
I've definitely been on more
I
than
know,
that. But...
I'm exaggerating, but flights worthy of having on-screen entertainment is a thing. I can tell you the only movie I think I've ever watched on a plane was Nacho Libre. I think that's the only movie I've ever seen on a plane, and I hated that movie. So it was like I was being punished. It's like I was being punished.
So you swore off flights.
I swore off. yeah. They won't let me on a plane again after what Nacho Libre did to me. But yeah, so let's just get into it. Everyone, as I said, we're going to fully get in, but this is a movie where it's made up of a bunch of different gags and series of scenes and scenarios. It's an anthology film, so
Yeah, I think
there's plenty to...
7 stories, I think.
And so before we tap into each individual one or however we want to go about it, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, Woody Allen himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the nefarious man. Growing up as a kid in Australia, all I knew was him as a punching bag, as the joke, as the punchline of, oh, he's a pedophile. Like, that's basically what, or child molester. Like, that's basically the big and short of it all. And I never really delved into like fully all of the information of what all that is. I just knew like, oh, didn't he like marry his adoptive daughter?
Yeah, that's basically the only one that I really knew.
Yeah, I knew about other things, but like that's the thing. And it's like, how can you watch this guy's movies and him and like someone like Roman Polanski are very much contentious figures because the industry still lauds and celebrates them, and all of these actors still work with them, and it's always a red hot button topic, and you can't just we can't just walk into a Woody Allen discussion and just merrily not mention it, because it is something that hangs over it, especially a movie that's about sex and even makes jokes about child molesting. It's one of those things where it's like, oh boy.
Well, it's a joke about children gangbanging a woman.
Oh, I was talking about what's your perversion?
Right.
Where they ask him if his perversion is child molesting.
Yes.
And then he gives the guy gives a very coy, no. Yeah, this is a movie where that's also at the forefront, but I thought, let's just get it out of the way right now because I don't want to wait to do it later. It just has to be mentioned. Like, I don't know the full context of it all. I read some of the stuff. I've looked into it. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to look into it because every time I do, it's way more upsetting and seems way more disgusting. And the one I'll say is I had a good laugh at hearing about Frank Sinatra and how he was tied into all of this because he offered Mia Farrow to break Woody Allen's legs after he heard about what he was getting up to with Suki. And I'm like, that's very interesting that Frank Sinatra is in this tale and is like, I can get that guy and get his legs broken if you want. And she declined the offer. But there's a universe where she didn't. There's a universe where Frank Sinatra organized to have Woody Allen's legs broken. That was the funny part of my investigations. But yeah, I don't know. It did color my experience walking into this. Like, death of the author, we can say all we want, but
I think I had it a bit easier because I really didn't know the full extent of it. I just thought like, oh, there's something with like his adopted daughter or something. I like didn't know
they were still married.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't even know the child molestation thing when I recommended the film. It was just one of those things like I should probably look into it a little bit, and I didn't look into it that deeply. It was mainly just scrolling through like his Wikipedia page and his son's Wikipedia page. But yeah, so it ended up being more than I thought.
And he's had films about May-December relationships, and yeah, and his films have always dealt with sex in some way. A lot of them often tackle it, or at least have it in the conversation. Not every single one, but a good portion of them. So even then, it is on the mind because it's something that he himself, as a director, is always tackling, or at least has in the dialogue. It's like talking about Quentin Tarantino not mentioning violence in his movies. Like, it always comes up.
Yeah.
And his stances on violence.
They
But
have
this
their
is-
topics that they like.
They have their topics, and then the things that they like to investigate. But I just don't know what to say about it other than, like, yeah, when I saw Woody Allen as a jester in this movie and he's on purposely unfunny and he's like putting his hands and molesting the queen and she calls him out on it, I'm just like, I can't help but just kind of grit my teeth and go, yeah, awkward. Yep, fucking awkward. Like, if this was Mel Brooks in History of the World Part 1, I'd probably be laughing more because I don't know anything about him in that way. But it's like, yep. A lot of the characters that Woody Allen plays is, they're perverts or losers. And I'm like, yeah, I think he's a loser pervert. So, yep. Like, I don't have any deep commentary about it. It's just something like you have to say whether it makes you get taken out of a movie or not. And I think this is one of the two films of his where I've seen two films now with him actually in them as an actor, because Blue Jasmine and Midnight in Paris, he's not acting in them either. So it's also like I can't like separate it even more because he's like physically on the screen.
Yeah.
But you said you didn't really know anything about this until after the film. So you got to kind of watch this in a relative way where it's like taking it on its own merits.
It was like in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, there's controversy about this guy, but it wasn't really coloring my experience.
Death of the artist, death of the author, all of that is always one of those philosophical conversations that you can have. Like, can you enjoy the works of a horrible person? Can you enjoy the works of a controversial figure? Can you still watch Bill Cosby stand-up? Can you still enjoy H.P. Lovecraft writing? How much of
we
this
talked about it a
is-
little bit with Hitchcock a few months ago.
And Kubrick as well, but his was like about like what he does in the filmmaking process.
Yeah, The Shining.
Yeah, with The Shining and so many other things. But yeah, anything else you want to say about the Woody Allen elephant in the room of it all? Because I feel like I've kind of rambled a bit about it. But
I really don't have too much more to say. Yeah.
do you like him as like a director and or writer?
I've only really seen two things from him. So really, you mentioned before the thing about him being a punching bag. I think I was growing up mostly just familiar with like the parodies of him. I didn't even necessarily know like, oh, who that's parodying.
And now you've seen something more with him in this film, at least. How does he stack up in terms of like actor, director, writer, persona? Because he is a persona in this movie. Like he's playing the Woody Allen shtick.
Yeah, like he does a lot of the Jewish complaining stereotypes. Like quipping about things here and there. Every time I see it parodied, it's taken up to like a 11 or 12 out of 10 degree. So, but even then, like it didn't seem as exaggerated as you would be led to believe. It's like, oh no, he does do that quite a bit in this film, especially as the jester. But again, that's the character's job.
Yeah, is he? As a director, and it's, in a film like this, it's very simple. It's a nice little comedy anthology, and it doesn't require huge amount of like visual flair or flourishes. But I do like how each segment has a different style to them. There's ones where it's parodying European cinema. There's the ones where it feels like they're really leaning into like yesteryear comedies. There's obviously the
horror section.
The horror section. There's like the Hammer House horror section of it all. There's the game show, the old 1950s, 60s type game show. And those all feel real enough. They don't feel like so stylized, but they feel competently stylized. And I think also as an actor, he's good at playing this shtick. Like he's not a good actor. He's not amazingly funny in this. Like Gene Wilder is in this movie. And you see Gene Wilder and you hear Gene Wilder and you go, that guy's a fucking comedy legend. And you see Woody Allen and you go, yeah, he's all right. Like, he's good.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine. Tony Randall was in this movie. Did you see Tony Randall from Pillow Talk? He was in this.
Oh,
the best friend in Pillow Talk.
Yeah, who was he in this?
He was Control at the very end. He was the one dictating what the brain did in the body of the person that was having sex with the lady in the car. He's the one. He's the guy that's got the microphone and he's dictating what everyone else does. He talks to Burt Reynolds like, that's Tony Randall. And he looks almost identical to what he did in Pillow Talk.
I did not have my brain on. I didn't notice.
Go back and listen to that voice. It's just Tony Randall. I think he has that line. It's like, we've got full erection, and it's just Tony Randall. And it's like lots of little comedic actors like that are sprinkled in who are very good at what they do. So when we have the first segment being the court jester, and it's full Woody Allen doing "I'm a bad comedian" thing. And he's bouncing off of other people who are like more dramatic actors for the most part. Like conceptually, I think that's interesting. But to me, it was actually one of my least favorite segments of the whole movie. I just looked at it and it was also just so flatly shot. I kind of wished it leaned into feeling more like, say, how Blackadder did with its first series with playing around with like period piece comedy setting. Like that first series of Blackadder is maybe not the most popular, but visually speaking, they would do like some really creative and playful things with their costumes and setting and their locations and the visual gags. And this, I don't know, it just felt very workman-like. There's nothing special about it.
Yeah, it felt too much like they're in sets, I guess. It was the first Blackadder, that was one of the things they're like, we're not doing that again. Yeah, I remember when I first started watching this film, I got it off because I didn't look at, all the easy places to find it. I got it off archive.org and it was like horrible picture quality. It was like super, I'm not good with these terms, but like desaturated. Like it was really dark. Like in that first shot after the credits, like the king and queen are sitting on their thrones. They were like eyes in the darkness. So I had to get a new copy.
Yeah.
But even then when I got the, proper copy, I'm like, oh, it's not super much better than this. Like I can see things, but I was expecting it to be a bit more vibrant, I guess.
It's very much got that 1970s color palette.
Yeah.
That kind of muddiness to it. The YouTube copy was very nice and clean and pristine looking, but yeah, it definitely has that kind of look of both. It's so weird to say this, but you know how Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I should say, the
Gene Wilder one.
Gene Wilder one. That's like vibrant and colorful, but it's also like when we're not in the Chocolate Factory, it kind of has a more desaturated, muddy look.
You notice the overcast weather.
Yes, you notice it differently. This had it to that not to an even more drastic extent, but throughout most of this movie. But I thought it worked fine because this movie is going for, I don't know, how would you even describe it? It's like it's got an overall tone. Like there's an absurdity, but there's also just a.
There is a sort of like B-movie quality to it in a way, especially when you get to the horror section, the second last one. But yeah, in that first one, there is a sort of cheapness to it.
Vaudeville. Very vaudevillian.
Yeah.
There's that bit where the queen sits on him and it looks like his legs are her legs and they're doing the little kicking thing. And that's something that the Three Stooges would have done. That's something Charlie Chaplin would have done. You could tell he really wants to be Charlie Chaplin-esque in some of the physical comedy beats of this movie, but there's just something about it where it just doesn't quite hit. But yeah, the first segment, not my least favorite, but one of my least favorites. It's just, it's fine.
It was fine. I think it picked up a little bit for me once the queen was given the potion and they were working off each other a little bit more. Like a lot of his quips weren't just quips out of nowhere. They were like in response to things happening. I think at that point it started picking up. But
yeah, and she was a great foil for him.
Yeah.
And I like the ending of the segment too. The big complaint I have is so many of the segments in this movie just kind of fizzle out or just end.
Yeah, there's a real
there's no like punchline to most of them. That one, this first one, it does have like a clear beginning, middle, and strong end.
Yeah, there's a like length issue too, where some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. Like I was thinking, we've done one other anthology film this year, was Storytelling, which had two segments. And one was like literally twice the length, or like an hour longer or something along those lines. And it felt like, we needed like a third one there. But this one, yeah, you'd have some segments, like the first two feel like they're fairly lengthy, but then you get like the game show one, which is short, and the one about transvestite, which that one really just ends.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels like the last line is like, oh, well, then we're gonna see what happens next, right? I'm like, oh no, really?
That is a big issue, is with any anthology or even just sketch comedy style affair. Yeah, the premise can be good, but you need to make the time on it feel like it was worth it. Like, the game show one played out long enough. It was the perfect length for what it needed to be.
I agree.
And it had a clear through line, and the ending was strong. This Court Jester one, although not my favorite, the ending is really strong. I will remember the Court Jester one more than some of the others because it had a clear through line and intent. Him being this bad jester, and then he gets his just desserts because of all of these shenanigans he puts into motion. Great, I understand it. The Gene Wilder one, the second one, it stands up to the test of time because it lives on such a ludicrous degree of absurdism, but played by Gene Wilder with the straightest of face, that you can't help but be dazzled by it and enamored by it. And just, it takes this premise of here's all of these sex things, and the second one immediately ramps it up to a ludicrous place. Like the first one, it's about aphrodisiacs, and it's like, ooh, okay, and it's medieval setting, so they're kind of playing with magical stuff. But realistically, at the end of the day, we understand he gave her like a roofie, which, again, awkward. And then the second one is immediately like, oh, a guy who wants to fuck a sheep. And like, wait, whoa, whoa, okay, let's calm down.
It's like, what is sodomy, I think was the name of the segment.
Yeah, and it's just, it was my favorite, or at least one of my favorites in this. And I just can't also help but be a huge fan of it because you do have a comedic titan like Gene Wilder, who always understood the humor came from how downplayed it is. Even though Gene Wilder will go up to 11, when he usually goes up to 11, whether it's in Young Frankenstein or Willy Wonka or all this, when he goes up to 11, it's when he's angry. When he yells, like in The Producers as well. Like I love when Gene Wilder yells, he has such a big yell, but it also sounds like his throat is so clenched while he's doing it.
There's a level of like panic attack in his anger.
Yeah, it's never just rage. It is fearful anger.
Yeah, that second segment, it's the Gene Wilder show. Like, oh, this is gonna just be us seeing him kind of go from straight man to like just a complete fuck up.
Yeah, he ruins his life is completely in shambles, but he accepts it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, respectable doctor. He's literally got Dr. Ross. I had a Dr. Ross when I was a kid, so I was like, oh wow. Yeah, he's a respectable doctor, but then he's given this absurd situation. It's like, don't bring in your sheep. I have to call the police. But then when you have the shot of the sheep on his desk, and it's a very, very long shot, just him slowly getting more attracted to it.
And that's why you need a great actor like Gene Wilder to sell that and to let it breathe and be as long as possible. Because the fact it's so drawn out and it's just a static shot and you just see Gene Wilder go through the whole range of emotions and to him becoming infatuated with the sheep in front of our very eyes. Yeah. Not only is it funny, but I am literally, my mouth is ajar. I'm just stammering it like he's selling the shit out of this.
I can't see your full face because of the pop filter on the microphone, but I could see your eye, and it's like, oh, there's a twinkle there.
Like he sells it. You buy that. Oh, he's falling in love with the sheep.
Yeah, and in that shot, there's still like the ambiguity. There's still no confirmation of like, oh, I want to fuck that sheep. But then you have like him going home and he's like stroking a sheep wool sweater.
Throws it across the room.
He's like, I wasn't doing that. It's like, okay, he's already in denial. He wants to fuck that sheep.
He has guilt in his eyes when he's like, I wasn't doing that. It's just a very simple premise, but it's such a silly one of a guy in a respectable position who's married or has a partner, and then he he falls in love with a sheep and he just descends into depravity and he's fine with it.
I remember that when he first fucks the sheep and he's in the bed with the cigarette and he has this mini monologue about how like this is never felt more right in my life. It's just so absurd seeing the sheep next to him. And then in the later shot, it's got like, garters and stuff on it.
It is great. There's just, and the filmmaking too, I feel like is very fluid in this section. I feel like not only is it enjoying playing around with how we can frame Gene Wilder being romantic with this sheep, but there's also like a majestic quality to the visuals of this, which adds to just the I can't believe they're doing this factor. Like, they are presenting this visually as if it is this like grand, like Dr. Zhivago-esque epic romantic like affair, but it's like it's about a guy who wants to fuck a sheep, right? Like, it is more romantic and or sexual than the segment where Woody Allen himself is trying to have sex with his girlfriend and make her orgasm. And it's like, oh, she gets turned on when she's in a public place. Like, that one is less, visually speaking, bombastic or again majestic than the one about Gene Wilder fucking a sheep, which is just, what can you say about it?
It feels like a totally different beast from everything else.
Yeah, it does. It does. Is that a problem for you when it comes to anthology movies? When there's one segment that stands out above the others so drastically? Because I think that can be an issue sometimes. It's like there's one that is just so, like, just ahead of the curve of all the others.
I can see that being the case in theory, but I think I've been generally all right with even there's just the one really great one. Like, I think it's just part and parcel that, like, not everything can be the same quality.
No.
But even beside that, like, one being above the others, it's like, oh yeah, that's just the standout of the bunch.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. I think sometimes there's that desire of like, oh, I want it to be where I can talk to you and you say you have a different segment that's your favorite, but then it's hard to deny like what ones are the good ones and what ones are the bad ones with some movies or the lesser ones.
I blew that load with Blackadder. I love the first part the most.
Yes, yes you do. Yes you do.
I blew that load. It's a sex joke. Oh,
yeah.
Sex movie.
Now you make it a Blackadder joke where you have to say it like with more words than necessary to make it sound like you're being very clever.
Yeah, Blackadder. That's another way of saying BBC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. What was the next segment? Oh, the next segment,
I think it was
the one I just said, the Italian one.
Yes. Why do some women have trouble reaching an orgasm?
How did you feel about this one?
It was okay. I don't think it was as good as the stuff that came before, even though.
It's trying to be bigger, though. Like the whole Italian stuff, the way that everyone's dressed, the way that it looks. They're very much emulating these European Italian sex films.
It feels like we should have watched something like this on the Mystery Box.
Oh, really?
Kind of, yeah. I'm thinking I'm literally thinking of the Italian film that we did, so that's why.
Mr. Scarface.
Mr. Scarface, yeah.
I thought it was okay. I think it's because I just didn't find it inherently that funny. Like, the idea is interesting. Like, what is the thing that will make her orgasm or make her excited sexually? Like, that's got something to it as like a sketch idea.
It really fulfills the title's premise, I suppose. All the women are different. He talks to a bunch of people who are, some ways question masculinity, but also say like, oh, my woman's like this, my woman's like that, yours is like this, and that's dangerous.
I think the only thing I laughed at was when he plugged in the vibrator and it caught on fire, but he was still holding it. Which I thought that was very good, but it was so like it's one of those things where this one I feel bad to say it was just okay because realistically, out of all of the segments, this one is trying to be the most avant-garde and the most on point of what it's referencing. Like the Hammer House horror one and like the other ones, they're kind of emulating what they're going for, or like the game show one's probably the most pinpoint accurate, but like this one is like really going for like a super niche thing too, like the 70s, like Fellini type, European avant-garde cinema that was very popular at this time. I conceptually commend the effort, but then I watch it and I just go, I just shrug. And I feel like that's not a good response to have to the segment that is arguably trying the hardest, Like they're speaking Italian, or like they're emulating Italian, or however they're going about it. Like they're giving you the subtitles.
I think it's genuine Italian.
They're giving you the subtitles. They've cast a bunch of actors who are like in these movies or adjacent to these movies. Like they are really going for it, and I just leave going, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some, I guess, humor to the fact that, like, we're introduced to the Woody Allen character in this one. He's like, this rich Italian guy, and it looks like, this guy looks like kind of sleazy, but then he's having this issue that's really emasculating him.
And he becomes more and more emasculated trying to figure it out. I did like also the gag where he's like trying to find her erogenous zones by like touching them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was the standout.
And then like you cut to the next morning and he's like kind of in like a sleepy haze, still like rubbing her thighs and
he's still saying the mantra of like foreplay,
which is pretty good.
And the fact that he got the chart from her dad.
Yeah, that was good. The next one. Do you recall what the next one is? I have it in front of me.
Was it the transvestite
Yes,
one?
what are sex perverts?
Are transvestites homosexuals?
Transvestites homosexuals, sorry. Okay. This one, okay. Like, it had the potential to be really good, and then it just stopped.
I was actually enjoying it.
And then it just stopped.
That was really disappointing. Because I mentioned it before. Like, there's a line that feels like, oh, this line is now going to connect to the continuation of the story. Where it's like, you know what? I should have listened to you. I'm going to go get some help. Goes to sleep. And then it's like, oh, cut to the next day. Something happens. But no, it literally ends there.
And even before that. So, to remind the people out there, this section is about like an older married couple. The husband is into wearing women's clothing, but nobody knows this. They go to one of their friends' places. He goes upstairs and
pretends to go to the toilet.
Yeah, pretends to go to the toilet and actually gets into this woman's clothing. And he's trying to not get found out, so he jumps out the window. And then someone steals his handbag, and then everyone gets involved. Everyone's super helpful, and he's like hiding his mustache, and the police are there. The people in the house notice the police and stuff and notice that he's gone, so they go outside and immediately is just like, oh, it's my husband in a dress. And then this is where it confuses me.
He goes kind of crazy.
He just goes like old Daffy Duck crazy. You know how like in really, really old Looney Tunes, like Daffy Duck was not like grumpy, but he was like loony.
He was
yeah, that's what he becomes, this character, and I don't know why. It's just, and then he just admits to everyone like it's me, and he starts getting unchanged and like showing off, and everyone kind of reacts, I guess appropriately, where they're like, oh, okay, but it's just not very.
Yeah, there's like an element of like, oh, I did trick you. I'm actually a sex pervert. Here's my, fat body or whatever.
With this shtick, with this concept, I'm not saying these are the golden rules, but there's like two paths you want to either see go down. The one where he somehow gets away with it. He somehow, like, through a series of Rube Goldbergian comedic hijinks, people keep believing he is a woman, and he somehow gets his way out of this. Or he gets caught. And then hijinks ensue from there. And I guess you get that one, but it's like, and he gets caught, and, all right. Moving on.
Yeah, I was really thinking it was going to go down like, oh, he's going to get further away than like the sidewalk in front of the house, and like you're going to have a little, I don't know, like falling down adventure, like going through town and like the various hijinks that come up.
Oh, you get it to the point in which like he takes off the thing and people see the mustache, but they don't recognize it at all. Like, I thought they were going to go to that comedic level of, like, everyone sees him as a woman. And I thought there would have been a joke of, like, when his wife sees him, even she thinks it's a woman. Like, I thought it was going to be that level.
Yeah. Kind of like we were saying in Sorority Boys.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's clearly men, but, like, it's working on everyone.
And Some Like It Hot is a great example where that movie is about two men pretending to be women to get away from criminals. They fall in love with Marilyn Monroe, but they're women, but they're men, and all this kind of hijinks. And you get the iconic ending line of that movie where, like, this old man who's fallen in love with one of them, just like,
not everyone's perfect.
Not everyone's perfect. Like, I know, I don't care type of deal. That's how you do this type of thing, where, like, there's fun of, like, he rips off the wig and goes, I'm a man. It's like, yeah, nobody's perfect. This just, it has that kind of element. It's like, I rip everything off, I'm a man, and everyone just goes, oh, I'm moving on now. It's just, it doesn't have that oomph. This is one where it's like, I want to say I love it, but the ending's just such a lead balloon that I kind of look at it and go, I think I could have just skipped this one, honestly, which is such a shame because I kind of enjoy the Benny Hill slapstick of it all.
Yeah, there was, like, when he's alone and just being goofy, it's, like, very, very silly, very, sissy. But then once he's outside and you do start having these hijinks of, like, oh no, everyone is super helpful, which is not helpful for his current problem. He's very forgiving of the mugger, and the policeman's like, well, I have to do this. He's covering up his mustache, but pretending, oh, I've got a cold.
But then he gets into the character and he starts building lore.
Yeah, he starts adding, like, oh, I'm 3 months pregnant. It's like, that's not helping your case. But, it's adding to the hijinks. And it's like, yeah, this is really good. Keep this going. Let this be longer. He has
kid energy. He just keeps saying yes and after a certain point because he can't say no but anymore. He's an improv guy. He's like, I have to say yes and to this. And he just gets so involved in the character, but then it just stops.
Yeah, I really wish this one kept going, but it didn't.
This would have been a good short film, like a good 15-minute, little 20-minute thing where we get a little preamble, we get this, and then a good ending to it. But this relatively is short, and it's not short and sweet, it's short and bitter, which is an odd sensation to have with it.
And this might just be because of the times, but it doesn't really go into the homosexual aspect of the title.
No, and does it handle the transvestite thing tastefully? No. Would I say that this is, bigoted or insulting? It's not my place to say, but it has such, like, a overt, whimsy, childish mentality to it that I can't think of being actually offended by this seriously. But at the same time, they are playing it, like, so, like, limp-wristedly. But also, I don't know. It's just what I can't speak to it. I'm not. It's just one of those things that I didn't personally take it that seriously because it's just so stupid. But that it can also be, like, a fair critique of, like, hey, this thing is making it feel stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not one where there's time to even think about it. It's just as I keep saying, that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
And then we have the game show one, which, the game show one, that one is short and sweet, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And I love the payoff of that with the rabbi.
Oh my God.
His sad wife.
The very last thing, the wife thing really got me. I think that was my biggest laugh of the film.
I love that the people on the panel were real people, like they're actually real. Like Regis Philbin is there, and I love hearing. I just love the joke of, like, can Regis be the one that ties you up? No. I need a woman.
Must be a woman.
Must be a woman, and Regis having this sad look on his face. It's so, like, those are the type of things that I loved in this. But again, I loved how to the bit this was, like the visuals of it, the way that the footage would kind of break up on the occasion, the hosts and his delivery,
the commercial it starts with,
the commercial, all of the panelists and the contestants, and, like, we get to see what the perversion is, but the other people don't. Like, that was all great.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, they taking away the prudishness and treating it like this is just a real TV show.
Yeah, and I would have watched more of that TV show, but again, that high comedic thing of the rabbi, he needs to be tied, but not too tight.
Not too tight, the way he just wants it. Yeah.
And the wife sitting on the floor eating pork while he's being whipped.
It's part of the depravity.
His father and whoever they cast as his wife, perfect. She looks so miserable. It's just, this is one where I don't know what else you can say other than it's funny's funny.
Mm-hmm.
This one was funny.
This one succeeded in what it was trying to do 100%.
Because it's just a simple premise and it follows it to its great comedic conclusion, and that's the best you can ask for. Like, I think I like the sheep one more, but I also like this one a lot. Like, you know, when I think of this movie, it will be for these two things.
Yeah.
The one after that was the horror one.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was the Hammer House horror, where David Carradine's dad, John Carradine, plays a mad sex scientist guy. I looked up John Carradine because I had to. And he, as an actor, is like, I think at one point he had the Guinness Book of World Records for like being an actor that appeared in the most things.
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I was big into the cinema snob, and he, like, David Carradine in this is like every other episode.
Mm-hmm.
There was even an episode where he made a joke like, I should just rename this the John Carradine Show.
Yes, John Carradine. David was his son, who also appeared in a lot, but also died in the true sex pervert way, where David Carradine, who was obviously Bill in Kill Bill.
And we've seen a film of his on the show.
Yeah, which one?
Was it Big Stan?
Yeah, Big Stan. Where David Carradine died in autoerotic asphyxiation. Rolls off the tongue. That. But John, his dad, was just in everything. And just to go down a rabbit hole of him, I read what they did with him when he died. So when he died, the funeral parlor people gave him like a comedic rictus evil grin because he was like a horror guy. And David Carradine was like so horrified by this because like, my dad never grinned like that. So he himself, with his bare hands, resculpted his dad's face to look normal. And then he poured a bottle of hooch down his throat and then closed the lid of the coffin because that's how his dad would have wanted to go out. And I'm like, families, man. They're all different.
If only we could aspire to be as good a son as David Carradine.
And go out the way he did. I'm not saying that there's a belt hanging off the door in this room right now, but there is. Bartek, you're welcome to use it. But
oh, there is. Did you put that there so that you can say what you just said?
I'm not saying that I pre-prepared a belt for that, but it's actually been there a very long time.
Yeah, well, it's literally 90 degrees to my right, so
there it is.
I have to look at your eye.
So I get a feeling like you really enjoyed this Hammer House horror section.
Oh yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean it felt like it was really homaging a lot of those kinds of 70s horror films. Like, you know, you've got a sort of, you know, Rocky Horror Picture Show couple, not really a couple in this, but, you know, that kind of look to them.
They are by the end.
Yep. You know, we're going to the horror house, the horror movie house, for our own purposes. And, you know, you have the big monster, the giant tit going around, you know, ravaging the countryside. Bunch of funny little lines about that, about like, oh, you know, usually they come in pairs kind of thing.
I liked that cop's delivery. Like, if you see the other, let me know.
Yeah, because it ended on this like, oh, you know, sinister thing, like, oh, it's not over yet, but, you know, they don't follow through on that.
And this one's going to go to jail. The tit is like going through the federal court system.
And they have a whole thing about like, we can only keep it for so long, but then we're going to, you know, send it to the orphanage. There's some needy kids.
There's a lot of hungry orphans.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a bunch of, you know, throwaway experiments that he has that are just absurd in scope. You know, I mentioned one before about like, oh, I'm going to get these scouts to gangbang you, and there's this
insane moment.
Yeah. There was one where they had like a like kind of deadpan response where it's like, I'm going to take this lesbian's brain and put it into this postal worker's head, and they're like, why? And then they just move on, kind of thing.
They said I couldn't. I like the one where he's like, I've been pumping this woman full of silicone for this long, and you know, by the end of it, and then he just licks his lips aggressively by the end of it.
Yeah, it's kind of just stacking crazy on top of crazy, and I couldn't help but, you know, have a laugh at that.
The big tit is the great standout because it would have been easy enough to stay inside the scary castle with the madman and his Igor assistant. But then the tit explodes the wall and it goes on a rampage and it like runs over people and like sprays milk at them and it becomes like a bigger scope with it. Now the two people are now working with the police, like they're the experts on it. And Woody Allen is much better in this segment than any of the other segments. I think not only is his line deliveries and the lines he has good, but I think his nerdy shtick persona works really well for this because he's trying to be cool, but he's still a nerd. Like, I like that aspect, but I like also just his nebbish way of saying tit. It's a funny line delivery, and they know that it is, so they keep having him say tit. Yeah, so there's a big tit on the run, and it's just, okay, you got me. It's a silly, now you're making it a silly word. And that can be very juvenile, but this whole movie's juvenile. That's the great thing. I love that the author of the original book hated this film because it made it sound like he himself did not get a lot of sex. Yeah, that's the problem, is it? Like, that's your problem? Okay. There was some deleted or not follow through upon segments for this movie that existed, and there are some photos for out there, but it's just like they just didn't. It just
something
didn't
about
happen.
a spider or something.
Yeah,
like
that one.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that one was also about like homosexuals. There was a few that's like this was going to deal with homosexuality, and it just didn't happen. It's like okay, but yeah, the horror segment. I mean, John Carradine. I thought he was having a blast. He's having a good time, and yeah, this is fine. Like, it's not my favorite, but I do, again, like the scale of it. It's just ramping up the scale, and this one didn't outstay its welcome, and it had a fairly good ending to it.
Yeah, I do like that it kept changing gears. Like you mentioned, it could have just stuck in the mansion with the, mad scientist and the Igor. But no, it just kept changing. It did stick to the giant tit thing in the end, but I did like that it just, gave them more things to throw at you.
And the last segment we watched, the title of it is, let me just get it up here, Meet Dave. We watched Meet Dave.
Yeah, Meet Dave prototype.
Meet Dave, starring Woody Allen as Dave.
To be fair, the Dave in this was a real person, not a robot, though.
Yeah, I guess so. There was like mechanical parts inside of them and oil riggers and stuff. I guess technically is the Meet Dave in this not we actually don't see the physical persons outside.
Yeah.
Is it Tony? You could argue it's technically Tony Randall if you want. Like in the Meet Dave world, in the film Meet Dave starring Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy was the Tony Randall equivalent. So technically, if we follow the rationale, this is Tony Randall.
Yeah. And if we go to the inside out way, then it's just, they don't have to be.
I'm so saddened that you didn't realize I was Tony Randall. I was actually going to message you last night, like, Tony Randall's in this. But then I thought, no, Bartek's going to recognize him because he looks basically the same and he has that iconic voice. And we both really loved him recently.
Man,
in
it's like you don't even know me.
Wow. But then sometimes you'll come in and be like, did you notice this person from a movie we did one time 8 years ago? And I'm like, no, I didn't. You will do it too. So the tables can be spun around.
I guess you only half know me.
Yeah, I do. This segment was good. It was good.
Yeah, I was actually surprised how good it was.
I kind of wanted it to be shorter and longer. It's a weird thing where I wanted it less stuff. I wanted it to kind of be a bit more punchy, but also I kind of did want to see where the sperm went.
Yeah. I do like the Woody Allen, because he plays as one of the sperms. He has a line where, his whole thing is that he's nervous about this, what's ahead of us? And his buddies are like, oh, we learned all about this. We're totally fine with it. You should be ready for it. He has this one moment where he brings up like the unknown of like, oh, what if, I heard rumors that some of them hit rubber or what if it's a homosexual encounter, which
he gives a big look to the camera like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it actually kind of works because, the whole system of this human body is expecting that sex is going to be, a heterosexual thing, but it's acknowledged like, hey, it might not be. We might not be preparing for, ovulation. We might be preparing for, insemination. We might be preparing for, going somewhere where we're not meant, where you don't have a purpose.
And Woody Allen's concern is about death as well. It's like, I don't want to just die.
Yeah, I don't want to be a stain on someone's ceiling if it's masturbation.
And I hear they use the pill. These women, they use a pill.
Yes, that's the one I forgot.
And that's not great. But yeah, this whole segment is just seeing all these different parts of the body and how they're operating, and just the absurd way that they frame it. Like, the guys down below are like oil riggers, basically. There's that one really hairy guy.
Yeah, he's like the foreman.
The really, really hairy guy.
He's like encouraging them, come on, boys, I know you can do it. But then when like the inspector comes down, it's like, we need more people down here.
He's a union man.
Yeah, you can tell that he loves his men.
The pleasure center, and it's just like this like plastic box with a guy jumping up and down. That was so.
And the reason why the human was having trouble with doing the sex,
getting an erection and then having sex,
doing the sex, as I said, was because of the moral conscience, which is represented as
Catholic guilt shows up in this movie.
Yeah. The conflict was, oh no, I'm having premarital sex, and the resolution is, we arrest that character, and so he gets over the premarital sex concern.
There was an amusement to seeing Burt Reynolds turn around in the control room, and he's just a stoic character trying to get an erection, and hearing him say, the erection's at 45 degrees. It's just like, Burt Reynolds is here. What the hell? And this was the one where the behind-the-scenes trivia popped up a lot for this segment, because there's a lot of actors in it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people in this, like, because we're going from place to place, and there's so many people in this. And this seems like I guess the most troublesome part of the production, because Woody Allen, I guess, kind of like George Lucas in that way, he's not an actor's director, but he is. It's that weird thing
that's
where
right. The trivia was saying
he does not talk to actors really. He really no-sells them, and like Burt Reynolds and like Tony Randall and several others in this segment just did not know what the hell to do because their director was not wanting to engage at all. And it's so strange because I think from the outside perspective, as not a Woody Allen fan myself, and both of us have seen such a limited amount of his filmography, I'm on the understanding that you go to his films not only for like the sex stuff and the comedy stuff, but also like acting. Like, he has movies where like these actors, like Cate Blanchett, will get an Oscar nomination or win for being in one of his movies. Like, he's an actor's director, and he himself is an actor. But then you read the behind the scenes of most of his movies, or at least of this one in particular, and it really feels like he's got a very big distance between himself as a director and those actors, which I can understand for someone like George Lucas. Like, he's a sci-fi guy and he just wants to do the technicals. So when he says to an actor, do it faster, like that's very that's just very solidly technical. But like Woody Allen, he himself is an actor. Whether he thinks of himself as one is irrelevant. He is one. He is in this movie. He's in this segment himself.
Yeah, he's in most of them. He's in 4 out of 7.
And I will commend, like, it does not come across in this movie like the actors didn't know what they were doing. Like, when you read that type of thing, you often feel it in the production. But I will say I did not feel. I feel like even Burt Reynolds, who had the biggest bone to pick, it seems, when it came to like Woody Allen did not say like a single word to him. He feels like he knew exactly how to play this.
Yeah, I read that trivia and I didn't even really think of it so much as it being framed as a negative. I just seemed like, it was a real quirk. Like, he didn't actually talk to me, but whatever.
But it is a strange thing.
It is strange, yeah. If they did take it negatively, then certainly that would be something to consider. Like, why is he like that?
Why is he like that? But no, this was good. And again,
it was just fun seeing, like, what creative thing we're going to see next.
The real Herman's Head meet Dave kind of playfulness to this last one. And it's a good one to end on, I think. But overall, as a whole film, we're talking about in these little sections, but as a whole film, how does it work for you? And do you think like the overriding principle of the anthology nature, like the title itself, like what you need to know about sex, like How does it all cohere for you at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, only some of the segments really felt like they were addressing like the titular question, which I think maybe that's kind of what they were going for. Like, oh, it's just a bit of a gag. Like, oh, we're not actually answering these questions. Like the sheep one is about like what is sodomy, but it was more about bestiality, if anything. So I just took it as like, oh, it's just a very loose framework for how do we do this, and it's just based upon like, oh, what kind of thing do we want to do? Like, oh, we're doing a 70s Italian, well, 70, it's literally 72. We're doing like an Italian cinema thing here, horror here, sci-fi here. And yeah, I didn't hate any of the segments.
Yeah.
I thought, they were all, at worst just okay, but most of them pretty all right. I enjoyed it.
Would you be interested in watching any more of his films and his filmography? I know that I know most of the big ones are not like this per se, but it is something to still ask. Like, does this get you interested in seeking out any more of his stuff?
I think so, just because I've only literally seen two, and they're from like similar times. Like, it was Annie Hall like the year before this, year after.
After, I want to say it's later. I want to say it's later.
So I've only seen two 70s ones, I think. So yeah, just see what all the fuss is about his films. See one where he's not an actor in it.
Yeah. He's more modern films where he has people like Owen Wilson as a lead, which is as an insert of him.
You said you didn't like Blue Jasmine, was it?
That's a Cate Blanchett one. Midnight in Paris is the Owen Wilson one. Yeah. They just don't work for me.
I remember hearing good things about Blue Jasmine.
No, that's exactly it. And here's the thing. With his movies, and I want to stress this, I understand why people enjoy them. I don't understand why I don't enjoy them. Isn't that the thing of it all is you can recognize what works in something and yet it still does not connect with you. And that's where I am with Woody Allen, and that's where I am with this movie. I like anthology movies. I like comedic anthology things, sketch things. I like the idea of taking this sex education, whatever book in real life and taking the piss out of it. I think that's fucking amazing. But it just doesn't land for me overall. I found it very plodding and dull, a lot of wasted potential. I just didn't find it that funny a lot of the time. I think 2 segments, maybe 2.5 with this last one, really work for me. A lot of them just have endings that are lackluster. I understand why people would enjoy this. I understand why people love his other work like Blue Jasmine or Annie Hall. Like Annie Hall is one of those ones like you hear so much about Annie Hall. And I watched Annie Hall and I just thought, yeah, okay. Like there's bits I like. I love Christopher Walken in Annie Hall. It's just this just adjacent weird side character who doesn't really do anything, then gets one of the most terrifying monologues ever to then hard cut to him driving. And if you've seen that movie, you know why that's a great hard cut.
I don't think, was it a hard? It wasn't immediately after the monologue.
I think it's pretty quickly, but like the next time you see him, he is driving. And it's like, and Woody Allen's terrified for his life. But, I don't know if I would recommend this per se. This is one where it's like, you have to be in the mood for this type of thing. I just don't think I could just recommend this to a person casually. Like, hey, you got to check out this one here. It just isn't my bag, baby. So maybe I'm thinking it won't be others, but would you recommend overall?
I think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would recommend it in the sense that like, oh, it's just banger after banger after banger after banger. I would say Kentucky Fried Movie's more that speed. But for this one, yeah, just check it out. You'll like some of it. Others will just be fine. I think the highs of this film are pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, it's now my time to recommend a movie.
Mm-hmm.
My last one of the year.
Yeah, your last recommendation of the year, and then next week will be the last episode of your recommendation of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough pick because it's a year of older films, so I want to pick an older movie as well. And I was looking through, I'm like, oh man, what do I want? Do I want to pick from this country, from this decade, one I've seen, one I haven't seen. Oh, there's just I don't know if it was tough for you to kind of get to this point. It was like, oh, I'm near the end of the year now. Oh, what ones can I go? I know we always can keep recommending whatever next year, but there's a certain
I think I had
something to this, but it's like, oh man, I really do want to like make sure I pick something with a bit of an oomph factor to round out the year.
I think I picked this and then I forgot what I'd picked and I spent like an hour thinking like, what was it? And I'm like, oh yes, of course it was this.
There you go. So my pick is a film I have seen before, but I just want to watch it and I just want to talk about it. We're going to be revisiting an old familiar friend actor-wise, but one we haven't really had a lot on the podcast. We're going to do a Jimmy Stewart movie, baby. We're going to do Anatomy of a Murder.
Okay.
Which is directed by Otto Preminger, who was also an actor himself. He played Mr. Freeze in the Adam West Batman show. That's one of those.
Okay.
He was an interesting figure in real life, but he was also a very acclaimed director.
Sure. What decade is this film?
50s.
50s.
I want to say this is mid to late 50s, 59? 58? I'd have to double check.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But the thing about Otto Preminger is he did a film called Laura, which is very much like, hey, Laura, I'm sure that David Lynch watched this movie because it's very much like one of those feeling movies. But I'm picking Anatomy of a Murder because it's just a big epic movie. It's a bit of a longer film, but there's a lot to chew on, and it's got Jimmy Stewart. You can't go wrong with Jimmy Stewart. Hey, it's our old friend Jimmy Stewart. So that will be what we're talking about next time. So people, make sure to give Anatomy of a Murder a watch for yourself. But until then, you can find us on your social medias of Facebook and Twitter. That's right. You own those social medias. You own Facebook and you own Twitter.
Yeah. You don't own X.com, though.
No one does. Not a human, at least.
What about Elon?
I said not a human. He is some kind of creation. I don't know, a creature or a robot. He's something.
I was looking at not Twitter but Blue Sky.
Yes.
Stephanie Sterling was posting a bunch of, I don't know if you call them retweets or whatever from that on that site. But people were using the X.com AI, the Grok.
Yes.
And they were asking it questions about who is better at this thing? Obvious expert character or Elon Musk? Like comparing him to like Jesus and stuff. And the answer would always like contrive a way of saying that Elon Musk would be perfect. And it was very funny.
That is so accurate. But listening people, if you have recommendations yourself, please let us know what films you would love for us to cover. We can be contacted on those social medias or our email address, which is
spitandpolished@gmail.com.
All of this is in the description, the D-box, as we love to call it.
Yeah. We're not actually on Blue Sky, though. Should we make one of those?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay.
Make a MySpace.
Stick to Elon's site.
Yeah. He's our overlord.
Let's ask that Grok thing.
I watched Star Trek Discovery, and it said he was a pioneer of human history.
Okay, yeah, we definitely got to stick to X.com. Who wrote that Star Trek show? Was it Grok?
Yes. Before it existed, it was Grok.
Well, it's set in the future, right?
It feels like it was written by Grok, yeah.